everybody, this is Paige from Mosaic Moments, and today I am doing a demo with the 2x5 banner die set. So this set comes with 3 1x1 inch banner dies, and it also comes with this 2x5 banner die. There's also a little triangular cut at the bottom, so you're going to get 2 cuts basically, and that cut at the very bottom is to make sure all of your grid lines are covered when you're using the banner die. For today's demo, I am going to show a few tips and tricks you can do with the banner die, and I'm going to be cutting photos with it, so I made sure I found subjects like this one that can fit within that 2x5 size space, or even smaller. I'll be showing that in a moment. Alright, now that you have been introduced to the dies, let's get started with the demo. First, I'm going to use the 2x5 banner die to cut 2 of my photographs. So here, just take your time and make sure it's lined up on the part of the photograph you want to crop. If you need, you can use washi tape. I didn't feel a need to use it for my photograph, but you are welcome to use washi tape for yours if you need some extra security to keep your die in place. As you can see, this die is really easy to use. I'll show it again here. You just place the die over your photograph on the part you want to crop, and you put it into your machine. We suggest putting it in at an angle for the best and cleanest cut. And then you take that triangular piece off from the bottom and you're finished. Next, I'm going to cut this triangular piece with pattern paper. You could also use cardstock or another photograph. I am going to use washi tape this time, but that's because I want those lines on my pattern paper to look straight on my final layout. So the purpose of this triangular piece is so you can cover all the grid lines. The banner portion of the die does not entirely cover the grid lines on your grid paper, so this triangular piece was the solution to make sure those lines are completely covered. And as you can see, again, really easy. I just grabbed enough paper. I don't personally like to waste pattern paper, so I just cut enough to get that small triangular piece. So you don't have to waste as much paper. Again, I'm using washi tape, and you'll notice on this cut, I don't even roll it through the machine all the way because I don't want to damage my plate, so I just need to cut the little portion and roll it back, rather than having the whole die go through the entire machine. Alright, now I'm just going to show you really quick how to place on the grid paper. So as you can see, the photograph, you just line it up along the grid lines, and then that triangular piece goes on the very bottom, covering the rest of the grid lines. And it's that easy. It's really simple to use, straightforward, but I actually want to add a bit more color. So now I'm going to use the banner die again to cut 2 pieces of pattern paper. And again, it's really easy. Alright, I have my first cut here, and now I'm going to do it again. You place the die on your pattern paper and then roll it through the die machine, and it's cut. Now that I have my banner die cut, I'm going to glue it back with repositionable glue. It's the Hermodado dispenser, that's what I'm using. Alright, I'm going to put down the grid paper for now, and I'm gluing the back of my photograph. And I'm going to stick it on top of the blue banner and just show a little bit of that blue on the bottom. And you're welcome to show as much of the pattern paper cardstock as you want. I just wanted a little bit for a pop of color. And then you just need to use a pair of scissors to cut off that excess part of the photograph. So you just kind of line up the scissors along the cardstock or paper. And then I'm going to put the triangle back on the bottom. And that's a nice, fun, easy trick to add some layering to your banner dies. Since I have 2 banner die cuts, I want the photograph part to line up at the same space as the first banner. So what I'm going to do, I have my cutting mat, the Mosaic Moments cutting mat, to help me line up everything. So I've just put glue on the back of my photograph, and I'm just looking at where the other one lines up along the lines on the cutting mat. So that way I know where to place my second photograph on top of my paper banner. I'm taking my time here. I'm trying to get it as straight as possible, making sure it's lined up along one of those 1/8 inch lines. All right, just take your time. All right, and I'm done with that one. Just gonna make sure everything looks straight, and then again I'm gonna use my scissors to cut off that excess part of my photograph, and I'm done. Now that my banners have been cut and layered, I just need to add them on top of the grid paper. All right, so I have that first one from earlier. Now I need to glue the back of the second one. And I line it up carefully along the grid paper. And of course, I need that triangular part for the bottom. You can see that grid line showing through there. All right, and I have my first 2 banners finished. And now I'm going to be cutting it down to 2x3 size banner. And to do that, you will need the cutting mat. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Alright, so I'm bringing back my 2x5 banner die, and I do want to make sure that my subject's on the lower part of that banner die cut, because obviously I'm going to be cropping it down to 2x3. If you want an idea of how your subject's going to fit, you can grab a 2x3 die from set C, just like I did there, to make sure your subject will fit into that size the way you would like to be cropped. Alright, now I have that figured out. You can see that the die is going past my photograph, but that's okay because I'm going to cut it down to a much smaller size. So if it goes off your photograph by just a little bit, it's okay. Since we're going to crop it down to a 2x3 size anyway, it'll be fine. Alright, I'm going to repeat the same steps for 2 more photographs. Alrighty, looking at it again, this one, the rooster was pretty close up. I want to make sure he was going to be cropped the way I would like. Alright, now I have my banner die cut. So I'm going to use the Mosaic Moments cutting mat to crop it down to a smaller size. I just have a piece of cardstock here so I don't get glue from the mat onto the front of my photograph. And then I line it up on the mat. If you want to learn more about the Mosaic Moments cutting mat, you can click the video link on the top right now. So I'm going to give you a little simple instruction on how to use it today for the banner die. First of all, I line up that banner side over here where my knife is. So make sure you don't want to cut that off. And then you're going to count 3 inches and then 2/8 or 1/4. So altogether, this is 2 1/4 inches, or 3 big squares and 2 little squares. So 3 1/4 inches altogether, and you're done. So it's actually pretty easy to use the cutting mat. I'm going to do it a couple more times with these other banners. So first you glue it with your repositionable glue, which is really important. You don't want your photo to be permanently stuck on the mat. Use your knife. All right, I'm going to show here. So you have 3 squares and then 2 little gaps you need to fill. Okay, so that's 3 inches and 2 gaps. Each gap is 1/8 of an inch. So since you have to cover 2, you need 2/8. I'm going to show it here with the last banner. If you have any questions about this, please let me know in the comments below. Again, it's pretty easy. Make sure that banner side, you don't trim off the banner side, and you count 3 2/8. All right, that was my third one. I'm all finished. So now I can add them to my grid paper, and as you can see, they fit the space perfectly. And again, I'm going to fill in the rest of the banner space with the triangle so those grid lines are covered. So yeah, basically once you trim it down to the size you want, it's really easy to place down the grid paper and then stick that triangular piece at the bottom. And I made it 3 inches tall. You could make it 2 squares tall or 4 squares tall as well. All right, next, to end the video, I am going to cut with these 1-inch banner dies. It's really easy. there's 3 of them all together, so you can get 3 cut all at once, which is really nice. And then of course I use my repositionable glue again to stick them on the parts I want. You can just stick it right on the grid paper and the grid lines do not show. Or like I'm doing here, I have pattern paper behind the banner. So either way you can do that. I have also done a little bit of layering with these 1-inch banner dies on past pages. So that is an option with these as well. And these little banners are great if you want to add a title or the year to your layouts. Makes a great little spot. This is the numbers 4 die set that I'm using here. Alright, this is the end of the demo. I really like how this page turned out. The banner dies are really fun. I think you'll enjoy using them on your own pages. Alright, so if you enjoyed this demo, please give our video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to our channel so you can be updated on future tutorials and demos with upcoming dies. Alright, I hope you have fun scrapbooking at home, and I'll see you next time.